When it comes to remastering revered RPGs, Square Enix has truly refined the art with the sublime HD 2D games. Initially born from a relatively new IP in the form of Octopath Traveler, the recent remasters of Star Ocean Second Story R and Dragon Quest III have captured the feel of the originals while adding modern flair to the visuals with quality of life changes. Now, Dragon Quest I and II have received the same treatment, completing the Erdrick trilogy. What's it like? Gather your supplies, form a party, and prepare for adventure as we review Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake on Nintendo Switch 2. Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D brings two of the most iconic entries in the Dragon Quest series to the Nintendo Switch 2 with a fresh, modern visual style while staying true to the originals. While both games follow familiar RPG story tropes, they take very different approaches to storytelling and party structure. In Dragon Quest I, players will follow a singular hero, a descendant of the legendary Erdrick on a quest to defeat the Dragon Lord and save the kingdom of Alefgard. The game focuses on exploration, combat, and leveling up a lone protagonist, creating a personal and focused journey. Dragon Quest II expands that scope, following a more traditional party of young princes and princesses who must rise to defeat an emerging evil threatening their world. The larger party system introduced more strategic combat and greater variety in character abilities, giving the game a more complex, multi-layered experience. But both games in this HD 2D remake benefit from modern quality of life improvements to make these classic adventures even more approachable for new and returning players. These include improved navigation tools like map indicators and objective markers, auto-saving, and the option to adjust difficulty settings. Dragon Quest II also benefits more from its traditional party system setup, letting players strategize across multiple characters rather than just relying on a single hero. It's made even more flexible by the ability to set behaviours for each companion, such as focusing on damage, prioritizing healing, conserving MP, or using the follow orders option to take direct control of each character. With these options, combat can be as simple or as strategic as you want it to be. Both Dragon Quest I and Dragon Quest II remain faithful to their old school roots, even with these modern touches. While the HD 2D remakes introduce those quality of life improvements with minor story adjustments, the core experience is very much like the originals. Map markers now clearly show objectives, making quest progression smoother and more accessible for newcomers, while still satisfying long-term fans who remember the classics. Combat plays out pretty much like the originals, but the modern updates give you more control and flexibility. You can adjust battle speed to blast your encounters, and I found setting the combat to just fast keeps the pace enjoyable without diminishing the feel. In Dragon Quest II, like I said, your companion behaviour options are a standout addition, and I find initially when left on default battling a large group of enemies, my two AI party members would just spam heals instead of offense, and that's when combat orders came in handy, switching them to follow orders, and it allowed me to manage more offense while keeping one character as a dedicated healer and using the other one for AoE attacks. The game does offer 3 difficulty levels as well, introducing an easy mode with the option of invincibility. Now, I'll admit I occasionally use this to get through the review, but it is a welcome tool for players who just want to experience the story without all the grinding. Exploration still remains a core part of the experience. Towns are full of secrets like hidden Trombola tickets and mini medals that can be found in barrels and pots, and they reward players who explore more thoroughly. Chimera wings act as your fast travel mechanic, and it keeps the pace flowing without tedious backtracking through random encounters. The world feels more intuitive and fun to traverse. Story integration works very well across both games, and Dragon Quest I really wastes no time diving into the action, while Dragon Quest II, because of the larger party and expanded mechanics, offers a little bit more story and exposition without really getting in the way of gameplay. Both games seem to balance the narrative and mechanics in a way that makes them enjoyable for veterans and newcomers alike. Now, I may be a bit biased here, but the HD 2D visuals in Dragon Quest 1 and 2 are an absolute feast for the eyes. Classic Super NES style characters appear as 16-bit sprites, and they move through beautifully rendered 3D environments, complete with modern lighting and spell effects. I feel like the way they remake these games, it's kind of like how we remember these games in our heads. The pixel characters we grew up with now living in a more detailed and immersive world. The combination of nostalgia and modern flair is handled exceptionally well. There are 2 performance modes to choose from. You have quality mode, which sharpens the resolution and locks the game to 30 frames a second, and then you have performance mode, which boosts the frame rate to 60 FPS with a slightly lower resolution. Now, I was a bit spoiled for choice, but I personally preferred performance mode for the extra smoothness, but both options deliver a great gameplay experience, so you can't really go wrong either way. These visuals are also complemented by an amazing orchestral score, which elevates both quiet and triumphant moments. There's the traditional Dragon Quest elements like the victory jingle or the level up chime, and they remain intact, blending seamlessly in with the updated soundtrack. Whether it's the grandeur of adventure on the world map or the tension during dramatic story beats, the music adds a rich layer of emotion to the experience. Voice acting also now covers roughly 90% of the dialogue, and it's very well executed. Hearing these characters speak brings their world to life in a way that text alone really never could back in the day. And it makes the story feel more immediate and engaging while enhancing the overall charm of these HD 2D remakes. Now, for my scions of Erdrick looking into accessibility, the HD 2D remakes include thoughtful features that make these classic games easier to enjoy for a wider range of players. The recall ability allows you to press start to record cutscenes to revisit later, which I found especially helpful because I have memory issues. Settings that display the locations of chests and secret areas help improve discoverability, and it ensures that people with vision impairment won't miss key items or hidden content. There's also gameplay options designed to reduce frustration and support different playstyles. You can turn on HP and MP automatically refilling on level up, and like I said, that invincibility can be toggled on and off, letting players focus on just enjoying the story without having to worry about that difficulty. As always though, I recommend further research to find out if Dragon Quest 1 and 2 suits your needs. At just under $100 Australian, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D delivers 2 fantastic RPGs that are well worth your time. Dragon Quest 1 provides a shorter, more tightly focused adventure, taking roughly 10 hours to complete, while Dragon Quest 2 on the other hand offers a much larger experience, easily exceeding 30 hours for the main story and significantly more for completionists chasing every secret and collectible. Together, they offer a substantial amount of gameplay for the price, making this 2D HD remake strong value for new players and long-time fans. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D is a remarkable way to experience 2 of the most iconic RPGs in gaming history. The remakes managed to strike a careful balance between that nostalgia and modern accessibility, offering that faithful gameplay combined with stunning visuals and quality of life improvements just make the adventures so enjoyable for both newcomers and long-time fans. Whether you're revisiting these legendary titles or playing them for the first time, the HD 2D remakes provide hours of engaging exploration, strategic battles, and memorable storytelling. If you're after an epic adventure to keep you busy for a while, this is a must-play for any RPG fan on the Nintendo Switch 2. So, what's it like? Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D are like the original games, brought into modern times. I award it a 94 out of 100. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D is a What's It Like certified exceptional game. In the interest of full disclosure, a review copy was provided by the publisher, but this doesn't influence my score. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, the best way you can support What's It Like is by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. For more reviews, click on the thumbnails to the right, and for everything Nintendo, check out what'sitlike.com.au.